afternoon, good evening, hello, happy Tuesday, and we've got a jam-packed episode for you today. Can't be more excited to be antagonistic on a happy Tuesday evening. So, kicking it off, we're going to start off with Snow White and the several humbling moments for a Disney franchise. Jasmine, Crockett, a story about how Democrats create Republican voters. And then we're going to close the episode off with a little bit of a fun topic, how a man uses a creative method for a loitering bear problem. So joining us today in the Pickle Gallery, as always, Just Another Day TV. Ricky, how you doing? And with us in the side chair, Will, how you doing today?
Good.
Yeah, don't even talk. You're overstepping. And on the keys, we missed him with no tan. I don't know who else goes to a beach and hides this much from the sun. But Dougie Fresh, how you doing?
I like how you bring each of us here to how you doing, man? Don't talk. How you doing? Don't talk.
It was an instinct.
And then you get the Doug and you're like, Doug, how you doing? Sunscreen, baby.
we gotta cut Doug a break. Literally, he just came back from his hiatus on a vacation. I go, Doug, just remember, I'm not talking to anybody. We're just going to go right into it. I'm going to say their names, just click right through them and go. And I'm like, Ricky, hey,
Ricky,
Will, how's it going?
Ricky, how you doing, man? Tell me what's happening. Will.
Stop.
Damn, that was funny.
All right. So a little thing we've developed Debella's subs. What we've done on the show as of recent is opened the show up with some updates. I have some things that just are interesting, but not big enough topics for a full thing of their own. So I have here is we're missing Silent Destroyer, if anybody noticed, and he is in South Korea, and this comes from Seoul. This just happened. Literally a sinkhole. Watch how nothing hole.
How pops Godzilla.
Yeah, dude. Why'd you have to say it like that?
Oh, pops Godzilla.
The car is saved, but that dude on the bike is gone.
Why'd you have to do it like that?
You know, when you mentioned he's in South Korea, I thought you were going to be like, all right, let's go to Silence live stream, and he's in Squid Games.
Yeah.
I was expecting
Red
that.
light.
Sinkhole's cool. Too bad they weren't at a red light when it happened. That's why we're paid the big bucks.
Dude, this is an incredible video that I just wanted to highlight because it literally manifests out of nowhere. Hole.
I like how the car recording is turning way off.
No.
Bigger hole. Bigger hole.
Bigger hole. All right, so this is a little bit bigger one. This is an update, quasi-update for an old topic, but in many ways, just a whole new can of worms. Okay. We have discussed the sale of 23andMe, what that entails. Okay, so here's a company that not only is worth a ton of money, however, they own a lot of people's DNA, and they're going through a purchase. And we're questioning what does that mean? What are they purchasing? Are they purchasing all of your private information?
Oh, they're buying
Is the purchaser getting all of the curation of our DNA? Dude. So I'm on Twitter yesterday. Hey, you familiar with James O'Keefe? Ricky, you familiar with James O'Keefe? I'm going to go with no.
Yeah, I know who James O'Keefe is.
Okay, so James O'Keefe is a guy who puts people undercover and gets important people in compromising situations.
Oh, this is what your tweet was about. Yes, I know what you're about to bring up. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So I am just scrolling through James O'Keefe, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And
what's the name of his publication?
Why'd you got to do that right now?
Honestly, because for our viewers, knowing our audience,
Just
they don't
search
know who
James
it is,
O'Keefe,
they
it'll
would
definitely take you there.
they would.
But he
definitely
does
be
have his
interested.
own independent journalism. It's OMG Journalists, O'Keefe Media Group. But you'll see it here shortly. But okay, dude, we got our reactions channel and we had Sunday review. There's a whole folder of things that we never ended up getting to. One of them was they got the Commanders organization in a compromising situation. So they've done it through major sports organizations. They've done it to celebrities. But the thing that he does or specializes in is getting political figures in compromising situations where they get them to dinner, they get them comfortable, and they just spill the beans.
Yeah.
So I'm scrolling, and like Nate Johnson is a very generic name. So
Yeah.
you just buzz right past that. And I'm reading this tweet that says Nate Johnson, a U.S. Treasury Department policy advisor, has exposed that 23andMe has been secretly sharing customer data with nearly every country. He claims a hidden clause in their contract allows them to hand over user information to shareholders, all of whom are pharmaceutical companies owned by Russia and China. California's Attorney General has urged customers to delete their data as 23andMe filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So not only is there like this desperate haul to sell it, but now it's going to go into bankruptcy. What does that again mean for your personal data? But I'm watching the video and I'm like, that's a recognizably squirrely face. Like I recognize it. And then I go, whoa. Nate Johnson. There's no way that's the dude that was hanging out at our house in Miami all the time, Doug. Let me know if you recognize Big Home.
Trying to figure out what all you are. I should do that.
You shouldn't do that, though. Do not give your information to
I know.
They sell it to other people.
Personally.
Do they sell it to Russia?
They sell it to everybody.
Dude, that face. Hold on. Right
Why
here.
would you- why
Wait,
would
right
you
here.
say
Right here.
that?
Watch this. I will watch this 10 times over. We'll put it on mute. Look at this. Look at this. Ready? And I better. Oh, my God. That face, it cuts right when he's just like.
For a shareholder,
Do they sell it to Russia?
they sell it to everybody.
Everybody. I'm a bot individual.
We can give your information
You
to
can
our
buy me.
shareholders so they can do something. And all of their shareholders are like pharmaceutical companies. But some of those pharmaceutical companies are companies based in other countries, and those pharmaceutical companies in other countries are like the property of like the Ministry of Defense of Russia, or like owned by China.
Okay.
Can I make it like a broad assumption? I don't know this individual. You two do, so you two would be able to kind of help guide me on this. But like, if I were to go to his profile, would he have a pronoun in it?
You know, it would be as close to that line of being, you know, a male feminist as you could be without like truly compromising all of your integrity. Just enough of it to be like, I'm not one of them.
I saw the mannerisms. I heard the voice pattern, and you know, I was thinking pronouns like something, them.
It's crazy because, you know, I was torn. Is this something you talk about? Because like, you know, no, I mean, this topic.
Yeah.
Because I know the guy.
I thought you meant like him.
And it's one of those just like, it's a guy that I went to college with. We shared one of our housemates was his best friend it was his Doug. And so just like they went to high school together. He just was always there. And they kind of had their own other friends, but then they were always in each other's lives. It was his Doug. And this guy would come to our house all the time. And here's what's crazy. Let me read that again, just in case the folks at home missed it. A U.S. Treasury Department policy advisor. This dude couldn't get into Lambda Chi. Tried 4.5 years. Couldn't do it. Not good enough for a bunch of us. But the U.S. government's like, let's give you expensive security clearance that you can sell across the government.
Go on a first date.
And he's also one of those characters that's like, of course. You used a young dude. You can just hear from the girl. Oh, and who do you sell it to? And it's like, oh, you got her? He's spilling his guts. If he had the nuclear codes to give her, he would.
If he had the button, look at it. Look at it. I'll lift the lid for you to touch it.
Here, please. Just one more date, and you can push the button.
Please. Yemen, click.
So again, I'm torn because it's like, all right, maybe it's not my place. But at the same time, like you would sit there and go, if somebody knew Elon Musk, the guy that the whole world's talking about always, you would think you'd have an obligation to like give your 2 cents, especially because we're always outsiders looking in, to finally be like, oh my God, I know that guy and his nature. So interesting. And the way people have reacted around it has also been an interesting experience.
Seeing other people talk about him the way I talk about him has kind of been nice.
And here's one thing that has been just a very common thread. Again, crazy, alleged. This is all fictional, not true. Pathological liar.
Is he?
No, I don't know. Alleged.
He could be.
Could be.
He could be.
Oh yeah.
This is you. This is you. He definitely is not.
Big time. Dude, it's the craziest. And I was talking to Robert before this, right? Of all people. Been a long time. Perfect. Yeah, right? I knew that would resonate with you. And I haven't talked to him forever. One thing that resonates. Dude, it's like Steve Renazizi level unnecessary lying. We're all just sitting there like, Bud Light's good. Yeah, Bud Light's good. I was in the Twin Towers. What? Like an unnecessary
like
lie.
Mark Wahlberg. If I was on that plane, it wouldn't have gone down. Shut up. Shut up, guy.
Mark Wahlberg. I would have hijacked it back.
I would have taken it to their tower. Shut up, Mark.
I would have called this beeper and said, I have a very special set of skills.
That's probably what this guy said before the date.
Dude, what's crazy is this was 2 minutes about 23andMe. Okay, first off, I'm a bad friend. Let me tell you why I'm a bad friend. I call one of my other friends, the one that sends me all the crazy stuff online. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
He calls, I go, I'm calling him. It's going straight to voicemail. Finally, like a couple hours later, I go, dude, were you drowning in water? Why was your phone not on? This is important. I tell him about it. He goes, dude, we lived that a month ago. A month ago? He goes, dude, this was trending all over. It was national news a month ago. How's that?
He would know that.
How am I living in this world? Why didn't you call me? He goes, I'm pissed. Because Andrew said he texted you and you never got back to me. So I thought you already knew and it was over. I would have called you. So, and then he's like, now I'm excited. I'm reliving it for your first discovery a month later. And I'm like, he's full of it. And I go, he did text me a month ago. I'm just bad. I'm a bad friend. It came to me and I could have experienced it for the first time a month ago. But anyway.
Shocker, you missed it through the litany of things he sends you on a daily basis.
Exactly.
Sorry, the one thing missed through the crack and made national
all the
news.
other gems, though, I don't miss. I don't miss the memes. So the takeaway from it all is a month ago, it was an 11-minute full expose. It finally graced my Twitter feed, luckily, just yesterday, because it's trending again because 23andMe just filed for bankruptcy. But a month ago, dog is probably not employed now. And
he went out for a simple Taco Tuesday and became national headlines.
Bro, he was batting eyes. Funny thing about like the full interview, he's like, yeah, I usually work here, but I travel about it once or twice a month, like about every 3 weeks at least. And it's a pretty great gig. And you're like,
it was a pretty great gig, guy. It was really good while you had it.
And he sells his whole department up the river. Like the whole 11 minutes is even better, dude. He's just like, I'm so pissed at Elon Musk and Doge is crap. Now, what I'll say is about 20% of them are people over 40 that don't do anything and should be fired. But what makes Doge a problem is it's going to fire the wrong people. And you're like, bro, you are missing the mark.
They're going to fire some of the wrong people, and you're one of the right fires, apparently.
Dude, he drops secrets. And the best is there is a phone call of James O'Keefe like, we are releasing this story. We got you with like a lapel pin camera. You're going down. Now you can either be a whistleblower and tell us even more, tell us it all, be on this side of it, or you're gonna go down with this thing. And he's like, I do not consent. I do not. And he's like, no. I'm a journalist. I wouldn't be releasing it if I was looking for your consent. This is breaking stories. You can either and he's like, no, I do not consent. I do not consent. And then he hangs up and he's like, nah.
Oh God. I almost feel bad for him.
You know, where me and major government entities overlap is some address North Street. The what was it? What was our thing? Doug, help me out here. Head out the gutter. Yes. No, North. What was our street name? Yes, North Campus Mail Service. Lick 'em, stick 'em, send them on their way.
Well, they sent his.
That's the crossroads between me and federal actors.
Wow, that was I saw your tweet, and I was like, yeah, he doesn't actually know him. So this was kind of a fun surprise. This is a.
Doug, do you remember him?
Oh, I recognized the face almost immediately. I couldn't remember why he was over the house, but then I was like, he must have been, our other roommate friends. I was like, definitely didn't really know him, but he was always there.
I feel bad for him up until he does a cute little like.
Oh, right here, boom.
That's right when I'm just like, sell him up the river, man, and get this guy.
He sold us up the river.
Yeah,
there it is. All right, let's get a freeze frame on the. Oh, dude, it's that last frame where the eyes just. No,
dude, he just was. Dude, he was like so. He was like, man, I'm getting laid. I'm just selling it right now.
She's loving it. She's loving it. She's loving me.
And she got out of there so quick right after. That tab was paid by him, and she was like, all right, nice meeting you. Next day, phone call from Mr. O'Keefe.
I hope she texts me.
I hope she texts me. I don't recognize this number.
Chris Hansen?
Dude, why did you answer? I would have been like, voicemail. I don't care.
Yeah, no. James, you're leaving a voicemail. You're not in my contacts.
It's like the phone call ID comes up as a number still, but it's like, Siri suggests James O'Keefe. Whoa. Whoa.
Woo. All right.
That was a good update.
This is a crazy. I needed the listener to share in the awe that I was left in, to scroll and be like, I know that guy.
To be honest, you want to know what I thought?
And where did he get that title? That's okay.
They probably
cheers to you. And then we take away the glass.
I was like, who cares what his title is? His title's unemployed now.
You said it. I was fishing for it.
You know what I thought you were going to do, and I thought it was going to be a good bit when you were like, oh, another like routine topic we're bringing it back. After the pothole thing, I thought it was going to be DeMoss like on a trampoline or something.
She was on the other side of South Korea's Seoul.
But that was better. This one was better.
Dude, crazy making national news. Cheers to history. But Doge is the bad guy. All right, let's move forward to real groundbreaking topics. Everybody knows I don't think actually we've talked about Snow White on the show because the main topics that have come across, the headlines over the course of the last 8 to 9 months have been so overplayed, right? Like we know all of the story.
It's kind of felt the same, like Frau. It's been like literally beating an old dog. for like 9 months, even longer, you could say.
Doug, what do you got?
We did touch on this. We didn't do it as a topic, but we talked about it when we were talking about like South Park and Disney's like woke movement and everything. And like we kind of talked about how Disney's like was having all these trouble years ago and even now today with this movie.
Well, go woke, go broke.
Okay,
There's all these layers to it, right? From the dwarfs to Gal Gadot. Don't say anything about that country.
Oh, I'm not. I don't
Let's
need
avoid it.
You don't need to.
We're slowly getting out of the hole. Let's avoid it.
She
They
is the
know
country.
There's
She
a
is
whole
the
other
country.
topic. They can go read the JFK files. They can go do all the other things. Do you know how if you were to rewind the clock to 2018 when we started this thing and they go, here is 80,000 documents of the JFK files. Do you know how many episodes I would have done of me doing the JFK files? And it's just, we got the answer. The answer is one word. And now it can't be a topic.
Can I make a thing going forward? Because I'm with you. Don't want to even mention the country. Going forward, could we just call it the Gadots?
Let's call it Madagascar. Like just some little country that's just out in fictional land.
Mm-hmm.
Because Madagascar's not real. It's got talking animals. Like, right?
It's a real country.
No.
That one actually is.
That's a real country.
Rips it right off the wall. That's not even it.
Yeah, it is.
I thought it was like there.
Yeah, it's actually.
Yeah.
I think we just got rid of some other islands.
Sorry, Mort.
Some other shitholes. Oh, did he do it? Oh, did he?
No, we don't need. Here's the problem. We don't need to touch on it because the actresses themselves have touched on it for like
Enough,
a
right?
year or two now.
That's the bigger topic in and of itself.
Right.
Is knowing it's Madagascar versus Cuba. It's just you see what I did there.
I do see what you did there.
Or like, what should we do?
No,
Egypt,
Madagascar and Cuba is fun.
Tasmania, even better.
Tasmania.
Madagascar and Tasmania, they're at it. And the bigger topic is, how do you got both sides of the V in your movie? And
That's a Disney thing, dude. How did you not vet this enough? Like, we're gonna do it Rumble Rowdy style and get Madagascar versus Tasmania as the two leads. Literally, Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader as your leads for this movie with no dwarfs.
dude, Doug, you'll like this. So my dad, so everybody's all, they've got they're all up in arms. They're like, oh my God, they don't have dwarfs. They took away jobs from dwarfs. Crime against humanity. Henry Dinkler. Boo.
Peter Dinklage.
Who gives?
Henry Dinkler.
That's how much you matter now. You've upset me. So, Peter what?
He was called an elf in literally Elf.
Yeah.
And he said,
Oh, no one forgets that.
no one forget. It's literally a bit.
Yeah. So again, you took away jobs from your own people, and that has caused its own stir of controversy. But here's my dad at dinner. I love it. Why? Because they look like the cartoon. They look like the dwarfs. And what's funny is if you go online right now, that's what's catching the most criticism. Yeah. They're comparing it to like some of the worst CGI ever.
Oh, they look weird. They look weird.
Well, yeah, I'm going to pull it up here, but before I get to it, it's just funny to me that like in many ways, some people might say they look weird, uncanny.
They don't look like people. That's the weird thing.
Well, but also they're magical dwarfs. Like you don't want them to look like people. You want them to look like, the cartoon. I think this is the best thing Disney could have done because the ragtag group of kids they had like 2 summers ago that got criticism.
Actually, I know where you're talking that photo and they're like all tall. Those are actual other characters in the movie. Those are like actually other characters in the movies.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah. Those are actually other characters in the movie.
No, this was supposed to be the dwarfs.
But they were, and then they retconned them and made them different characters in the movies. All those characters are still in the movie, just they're not the dwarfs now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See,
apparently, I haven't seen the
I was about
movies,
to say,
so.
here's the truth. I'm never going to be able to corroborate your statement.
Exactly.
Because I'm never seeing this movie.
Yeah. Not like neither can I, but like apparently they're in the movie.
It's
Wait,
true.
what's that? What's that, Ricky?
It's true. I didn't watch it, but I watched people that did reviews
Yeah.
of the show. So Yeah, they're in there. They showed scenes of them in there fighting and stuff, being heroic.
Yeah.
So, well, then.
So yeah, I don't
How
know
do
what
you-
happened there.
What character do they? Oh yeah, I do got it. Well, let's cut to it. So I want to. If you don't know, maybe this is all news to you. If it is, this was the first step of controversy the film ran into, with Rachel Zegler trying to virtue signal and only backfiring the marketing of the film.
I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story, just because we cast a guy in the movie.
Right.
Andrew Burnap, great dude.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all.
Because don't you dare come here assuming the story's going to be, I don't know, anything like Snow White.
It's something so.
She's so unlikable.
It's a mixture of virtue signaling and condescending at the same time, and we in the culture have been dealing with for years now, and seeing how this movie has been reviewed and received, it feels like a victory. Feels like a victory.
Ways.
I'm very glad. And you know what? Funny enough, I actually saw her in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story years ago. I think it may have come
in Broadway.
No, like the movie. Steven Spielberg did a film adaptation of West Side Story. I think in 2019, and that was one of her first roles. She's more of a musical individual.
I was gonna say she has a great voice.
She is she's a vocalist above anything else, being an actress. And from what I've heard, she's actually not bad in this movie. Again, I haven't seen it. I can't corroborate that. I will never see this movie. But it's one of those things in West Side Story, you talk about getting that little bit of fame and then you think your platform is up to here, because that movie was very well received. It was
do you want to
Oscar
see what she
nominated.
thinks she is? Oh, because again, here's the problem. It's not just one bad marketing moment. It's she has to have Disney, training on how to speak in an interview. And it's either the training has been terrible for her, or she's not receptive to it, and she's terrible at learning. I do too, because check this out, dude.
I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess. I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
All right, so if Will calls this a win in some ways, in whatever respect, we need to see it for what it is. The numbers, this is the outcome. Go woke, go broke.
Zegler has reacted to Snow White tanking on Rotten Tomatoes with only a 43% score. Disney's live-action adaptation of Snow White has managed to carve out a respectable, yet slightly disappointing opening at the box office, despite falling short of initial expectations. The film garnered approximately $87.3 million globally during its debut weekend, with $44.3 million coming from the domestic market. This performance places Snow White among the top-grossing films of 2025 thus far, positioning it to potentially enter the year's top 5 earners. However, the film's financial success remains uncertain given its substantial production budget, estimated between $240 to $270 million. With marketing costs likely pushing the total investment to around $500 million, Snow White faces an uphill battle to achieve profitability during its theatrical run. As of right now, the movie has only made 1/6 of its budget, which isn't a good sign. On top of this, obviously Disney wants to make a big profit and not just break even. Even if the movie does make the total $500 million budget back, Disney won't make a single dime unless it goes much higher than that. Critically, Snow White has received a lukewarm response. The film currently holds a 43% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, a slight drop from its initial 45% score. This places it among the lowest rated Disney live-action remakes to date. The film has sparked numerous controversies, ranging from casting choices to statements made by its lead actors. Rachel Zegler, who plays Snow White, faced backlash for her comments about the original 1937 film being dated. And now, Rachel Zegler has reacted to the movie's low score on Rotten Tomatoes. Underneath a screenshot of the film's low score, Rachel left a comment. In her comment, she said, Make your own minds up, please. It seems like Rachel thinks it's wrong for people to listen to critics, and she's urging people to watch the movie and post their own thoughts. Although she said this, many people think she's actually deeply hurt and disappointed by the score, and she's just trying to save face by saying this in order to minimize the backlash she's getting from the movie being panned by critics. For this video's comment question...
So, I mean, it's go woke, go broke. $500 million spent on the movie.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It feels a little bit like a win.
Dun, dun, dun.
Maybe, but I don't want to like hate on someone else's failure, even though I think we all
wait. But
saw
here's
this
the deal. I just want to get again. Bud Light, FAFO.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And they
No, you
found
get that right,
out.
yeah.
Yeah. So they found out, and we just stopped buying Bud Light. Then they were like, "All right, readjust." And we're like, "Thank you. That's all we wanted." And the market dictates itself. When people don't like Elon Musk saving the world by buying Twitter, making relanding rockets casually look gorgeous, self-driving cars, robots that'll fold your laundry, underground tunnels, just the future of existence. You guys are layman's. You went to the moon. I'm going to go beyond that, but I don't want to just go there. I want to civilize that. And you could tell it's for the sake of just existence overall. When you don't like that, because you're literally psychopathic, and you just start terrorizing, like a terrorist would do, terrorizing civilians for having a different market choice, like buying a Tesla, you become terrorists. We don't go into a movie theater with paint,
No.
right, and just start dumping paint on people. We just don't go. We just don't go. No one's harmed. No blood.
I was actually at the theaters last night, and I don't remember seeing Snow
What
White.
movie did you see?
Mickey 17.
What's that?
It's the new one with Robert Pattinson. It's the one where he's like multiples of him.
Was it good?
Wasn't bad. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It's just I don't want to get too into it. Just too many plot points. They could have cut 20 to 30 minutes off that movie. It's like a dark comedy, try to be satirical, kind of like modern day. Mark Ruffalo plays like a guy who's kind of like a little reminiscent of a current world leader right now. And but it wasn't bad. Pattinson carries the film. Pattinson is good. It's a good movie. I'd recommend.
Well, but
go see that movie. Go see that.
I'm not gonna go see that movie. You know what? I'm going to see Friday. Actually, I'm actually going to see the unicorn movie.
Snow White.
Nope. Something about killing a unicorn. I don't know what it's called, but I'm gonna go to that one. And here's where I'm at. Definitely go to movies. Support movies. I'm all for. We can't let theaters die yet, Doug. We don't need to relitigate that. Just let me have a point. Go out and support your local theater. But I'm going to go see the unicorn movie. I'd like to go see, there's another one out. I can't remember. Anyway, good movies. But we just don't go. And so you anticipated at least double, right? If you're going to put $500 million in, you're thinking you're
it's
getting
Disney.
close.
They're at least expecting to break even. It's Disney.
No.
At minimum, a Disney movie is like, it's going to break even. That's like the bar is low.
But I'm saying that's not even it. They're expecting to double whatever they're putting into it.
Sure.
When they put in $500 million, I can almost promise you they anticipated to gross $1 billion.
Well, I don't know how they thought they were going to do that when they had Gal Gadot as one of the main leads, and I can't understand a damn word that woman says.
Dude, go.
It has been.
So you know what,
while, yeah.
Doug? That was going to be one of my next comments. Is how much of that $500 million is just simply switching out those ninja fighters to CGI dwarves?
We went from the Ninja Turtles to the dwarves, the CG dwarves. You know what's funny is I just rewatched the Hobbit trilogy, and it's like the Hobbit and dwarves, and they're just people that they just made look shorter. And funny enough, they still look like dwarves.
But see, and that'll be the next topic, the better topic. But if it's not the Democrat way to look at people that are other as people, they're not people. Their demographics worth exploiting.
You know, and that's my biggest issue that's come down to this is it's Snow White. We talked about Nosferatu. Talked about the original Nosferatu and the most recent modern Nosferatu, and it's essentially the same story, just modernized. Didn't add much, didn't change much.
But with creative,
creative integrity, but like you kept true to the source material.
no, I was gonna say they filled holes.
No, but they filled holes,
filled
but like
holes
still,
creatively.
the original story, they didn't deviate from it.
Yeah,
they still kept it. Sure, they added more, but like like creatively. Completely like her going up there and be like, it is not a love story. That's literally what Snow White was. It was true love's first kiss, right? That's it. Prince Charming isn't in this movie. From when I looked it up, Prince Charming isn't a character in this movie. He's like a thief. So I don't know what they're doing. Then everything that they said off camera regarding any of like their personal opinions on world affairs right now. This is a Disney movie. This is a children's movie. It should have been like empowering to little kids to go see a live action Snow White, enjoy it, get away and escape reality for a few hours. And the only people that are going to escape it are literally the little children that are going. And their parents don't want to take them to this movie because they're like, both the leads are annoying, all this controversy behind it. And then I'm going to go on and assume, again, none of us here have seen the movie. We don't know if it's good or not. It's probably not that good. So when I see her make a comment saying, please make up your own mind, the people have. Don't you get it? The movie's been seen. And a lot of people are saying, this is bad. It's really, really bad.
Well, and you brought up Gal Gadot. People are tearing apart her performance.
Oh,
They're
she's not a
saying
good actress.
She is the worst part of this movie.
She's not a good actress.
Apparently, her Maleficent is the worst. Of all,
and funny enough,
she is the worst performance.
You had Brad Pitt's ex-wife, Angelina Jolie. Yeah. She was Maleficent like 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah, you're right.
She's like celebrated
Iconic.
as how good she was at that. Because I may not be the biggest Angelina Jolie fan. I think she's kind of like a little bit of a loony, but like kind of like Johnny Depp. But like Johnny Depp, as an actor, as an actress, she's talented. I understand why she gets these roles. Gal Gadot, why would you give that woman exposition? I can't understand a word she's saying. And that's not to be rude. That's just like, do not give this person exposition. This person doesn't speak well. She doesn't act well. She's a very pretty woman. That's why she gets cast. But just because there's plenty of good looking people out there that we know, that's about their talent. I wouldn't put them in the $500 million movie and then be shocked. Oh my God, it's not making the money back.
And then just be like, oh my God, they're fighting with Snow White.
It is funny though when you think about it that like Maleficent is supposed to be jealous of Snow White's looks, and then you put Rachel Zegler next to Gal Gadot, and you're like, she's jealous.
She's jealous because she's pretty.
And again, Rachel Zegler, she's a cute girl, but it's like, I'm supposed to buy into this.
I don't want to totally depart from Rachel Zegler because she, like, really a crux of, I think, the failure of this film is just she's so insufferable. Every time you see her, you're just like, oh my God. But I would like to maybe we owe her and the movement and strong independent women, like maybe we owe the situation a dialogue about Snow White, the original story.
Right.
So like when they look back at you and they go, we changed it to be strong and independent. And all I think is that Andrew Schultz show where it's like, when we had to go fight Saber-tooth tigers, you wanted to pick berries. The second there was AC in like like tower buildings, you wanted to be a CEO. Funny how that works. But I do think we still owe the conversation, like the consideration about, dude, what a weird film. Like, I'm opining on what you just said. We have the villain. What did she kill your firstborn? No. Did she, like, enslave a whole country? No. Did she steal a penny from you? No. What is it? I'm jealous that she's prettier. Bruh. And then what happens? We Bill Cosby roofie her, throw her in the woods until, thank God, a gorgeous prince was stumbling through because there's dwarfs and trolls.
There's dwarves. And there's no dwarves in the movie.
So like when we hold against her criticism, like, okay, dude, Cinderella's castle is built in the center of Disneyland. It is an iconic symbol. Like literally,
I know.
figuratively, it's this whole thing. All of this world, from
the Disney
rides
logo
to the movies
It's
to
literally the logo, yeah.
all the different franchises, but beyond Cinderella, like that's the piece I'm talking about. But all of this, Mickey Mouse, so much of it is built on the back of like Snow White, the movie.
It's
Like
literally
that movie was groundbreaking.
It's literally the happiest place on earth, and somehow this movie has turned it into just a disaster.
No, I don't even mean it
I
like
know,
that.
but
Like
like-
it's like this is a quadrillion-dollar business, and you need to accept that this original cartoon is it's not the thing that built it, but
It's a staple.
because of time. Well, really, like time and place. The release of Snow White was a groundbreaking piece for the art form, but for this company.
Mhm.
And it took a man who was like this show, just creating cartoons for a hobby, and turned it into a corporate empire.
Yeah.
And so much of that mechanism was turned on this movie. So people take it personally because, you know, the parents that are raising us, that are raising their grandkids, that are raising the younger generation, all of us are like, you know, it passed down. That was the original film that all of us have experienced. And so when you attack it, it feels like you're attacking me personally or our lives personally. Like, isn't that a weird movie premise?
Yes.
To sell to kids?
Yes.
So like, you want to look at Rachel Zegler and it's like, honey, you can make the same point.
Yeah.
And deliver it in a package that doesn't make people feel attacked.
Yeah.
To where now they just don't like you. And now every next word out of your mouth is definitely going to be interpreted with a scowl on my face, where I'm just like, what are you saying now? What do you got now? Whereas before I'd be like, she's got a point. She's got a point.
It's the condescending tone. It's
Yes.
the I know
In
bet-
everything she says.
It's the I know better than you. I like, and if you disagree, like, please make up your own mind. And it's like, I did. I literally just did that.
Right.
Here on the Rethink Tank, we actually thought about it and rethought about it a few times, and we still do not like it.
It's like you are insufferable. You just and you take a cute person, but it's just your mannerisms, the way you talk. Everything. I watch you and just you can't even pose for the cameras without me just being like,
I want to be paid for every hour it's streamed. Really? This one I don't think it's going to get streamed that much. You sure about that one? You don't
But-
want it paid up front?
And we'll get to it, but in classic liberal fashion, you gotta play the victim. You just keep punching people
yeah,
in the
punch
face,
down.
and you're like, "Poof, poof, poof. Everybody's so mean to me.
To everyone
The Harvey Dent quote: "Either die a
who
hero
hates
or
when I win,
be the villain."
and to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her.
Could you imagine if Tom Brady
And I
acted
can
like
only-
this after his 6th Super Bowl?
Hope that despite my flaws,
This is how Aaron Rodgers asked when he loses in like the divisional round. They hate me for my loss. Like,
And you know the
and now I'm
painting
going
show-
into my think tank in the woods.
The sculpture showed up to the Louvre in pieces, and people still.
despite my
Yes, God.
cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Ricky, what
Wrong.
do you think of this?
I feel like they can't blame the black man. They should blame the Hispanic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, like, that. All right, look. Magazine Dreams about to make more than Snow White on a lesser budget. All right. Disney can like do all the think tanks, like do all the writings, and come out with good products and not rush their stuff. They didn't even rush this. We've been hearing about this for years, Snow White, and they didn't rush it, and it's still crap. So with all that money, I don't know what they like really doing over there, Disney, Marvel, Star Wars. I don't know what's going on. But what you talk people go check out last week episode. What you spoke about last week, this is why they're failing. It's not because, one person like she wasn't put in a good story first and foremost. They're not good with CGI. They're doing too much CGI and is not working. Like they just need to go back. So they should just remade the cartoon HD or something and save them some money. You know what I mean? Instead of doing all that, especially when they start hearing her talking on the press run, they should just canceled it and just made the cartoon HD.
So let me ask you this. What are your thoughts then of kind of our little side dialogue about the movie itself, the original story? Like, is that really a film we should be playing for our kids? Like, maybe we should have that talk. Like, it's a story about a girl just lost in the woods and she's just crashing with some dwarves, eats an apple, passes out, gets kissed by a prince to wake up, and she's like, "You're the one." But the key is I think the movie cut out like the 6 or 7 nasties that showed up and kissed her before that, because the story is it's unlocked by true love's kiss.
Yes.
So if fate should have it that like even 3 or 4 of those dwarves showed up, or anybody else lurking in the woods, they'd kiss her and she wouldn't wake up. She'd just keep, and then the prince was like, "Hey," and then, well, I'm okay.
No,
I'm being hyperbolic to make a point. Maybe we shouldn't.
No.
This is a bad movie.
I'm with you. Like in modern times, it's not a good look. It is a little bit creepy, a little bit. She got Cosby'd. But I think there is like some, I guess, like lessons in the original that you could have made modern, that sure, they could have done a very good job with it. This film's biggest failure is not even the movie. Again, none of us have seen the movie, so I can't talk to the quality of the film.
Right.
It's everything outside of the movie that worked against it at most part. I'm with her when she makes that original point. Like, it's not a modern film that was made back then. She's 100% right. 1937, like, totally get that. It's literally closing in on 100 years, which is incredible on its own, that 100 years later, that story is being modernized. Do it justice then.
Right.
Don't make it be this debate of things that's not even in the movie, that's not even going to be discussed in the movie, to where we as viewers are now, like you said, I would like to agree with some of her points. It's her attitude and the way she goes about it that makes me be like, oh God, I don't even think she likes the original. And
right. And she said that.
And I'm lukewarm on the original myself too. But I can look at it as like, I like film. I like the history of film. I like to see how we've, like you said, Snow White, Cinderella, these were staples. Disney isn't even here if those things didn't happen. Pay respectful kudos to these things. And I'm not saying have like 7 or 8 different random men kiss Snow White in the modern film.
Ooh.
But there are ways you could go about it with creative talent people behind it. I don't think there were creative talent people behind this at all. I think it's ridiculous that they were given $500 million to do it. And I find it absolutely ridiculous that that company now has the balls to look at us and be like, and play victim.
Right.
You have infinite resources at your disposal. You had infinite resources to buy what? Star Wars, plenty of other properties. Then to be like, oh, think for yourself and see if you like the movie. The people have spoken. The movie's not good. It is what it is. It's a failure. So I'm with Ricky on that point.
Yeah.
And I'm with you on your.
But they could have even.
It should be modernized.
They could have rewrote it as young love. See, they haven't seen each other. Got the apple. The one true love came back. Like, they could have did it. There's a lot of ways that it could have did it. You know what I mean? But hey, they're a failure. Will said it. Like, all that money they're throwing, $500 million, like $500 million for a movie, and a lot of people don't even like it. Like, I don't know. Get people from different grounds, or get Alex in there to come review the script before you even put it in production.
Literally,
Like, you know what I mean?
ChatGPT.
Honestly,
You could have
exactly.
just gone to
Like-
ChatGPT.
Speaking of ChatGPT and like AI, like
It's
on
crazy.
Netflix, the creator of Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball passed away a year ago. They made a show completely generated through AI and put it on Netflix, and it's so good. It feels like original Dragon
Doug,
Ball.
what are your thoughts on that?
Is that Dragon Ball Daima, that new one?
Yeah, it's honestly, it's pretty dang good.
It's all right. I mean, it totally like undoes some stuff that's already been
It was
canonized
considered
by
not
him.
canonical when it
Yeah.
came out, though. Like they literally said like this was created through AI, and it's like it's pretty good. It's pretty good, and that's you couldn't have done that with modern Snow White.
Oh my God, dude, if we're going to talk about Disney's failures in using AI, they could have used AI to come up with a better Star Wars sequel trilogy.
Right.
I mean, my God, that was awful.
What do you mean? Elaborate.
I mean, if that
What made
trilogy
it
was
bad?
awful. Well, the first one was okay. I mean, it was very nostalgic, kind of just fed to the fans. But then you get the second movie where basically it's just a car chase in space for 2 hours, and it's just awful. And then the third movie, half the actors are either killed off or died in real life. So then they're stuck going, what are we supposed to do?
Tor died in real life. That literally happened, and they were like, "Yeah, your character's gone."
Yeah, they hedged wrong with that one. They didn't expect that one to go.
and they
first.
still did a little bit of her with like AI CGI, and people were like, "No!"
And that's the thing.
And then Hollywood went on strike.
No, and that's the thing, and it's just disappointing because it's not just this remake either that hasn't done well. Like there's been plenty of others. It's just the conversation. Like for instance, Peter Dinklage. Why did you have any insight on this movie at all? You have nothing to do with this movie at all. But because you said a couple of words a few years ago, they completely had to rewrite everything, completely uncast actors that they already had casted, who were probably like him, having a hard time enough finding work in this industry. You took away 7 of their jobs for CGIs that most of the people now are looking at and be like, yeah, they look weird. Looks weird, dude.
Looks weird.
Hell,
Uncanny.
Gimli from the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, John Rhys Davies, he's like 6'7". He played Gimli. He was on his knees the entire time he filmed that movie.
Whoa.
He's a very tall man. Let's CGI all these things and make them look weird. And then when it comes out, all the people are going to be like, wow, they look a little weird.
See, but you know what? After my dad said it, I kind of agreed with him. I kind of like it because these are supposed to be like fictional fairy characters. Like those types of dwarfs don't exist.
Sure, and sure, like it's a minor thing in the film, but it's a culmination. This whole thing is a
Yeah,
culmination.
but then
of, like,
also,
bad
dude,
ideas.
even
Say
the
it, Doug.
animated dwarves in the original look better than this CGI crap. I mean, it would have been better if they just copied and pasted the dudes from the original and threw them in there.
So there's this thing that goes around. I don't know if you've heard the conspiracy theory, but I mean, now what better time than the present to pull out a fun movie conspiracy theory? There is a claim that Lord Farquaad is the love child of Snow White and Grumpy.
Okay.
Oh my God.
And once you see it, you'll never unsee it. The hair, I guess the belt is like his like gem from his clothes.
He's
The whole
short.
thing. Go down the rabbit hole. Reddit's got you covered.
Maybe they shouldn't have modernized Snow White. Maybe it is a little too weird.
But you know, I just had to indulge a little bit because I do think like the dwarf as presented in this film is like a fairy or a troll, or it's just like a fictional character.
Mythical creature.
Like, yeah, it's a mythical creature that just like goes and mines for the day and whistles and then just comes back and lives with his homies.
All I know is this is what they're going to do if they modernize the Wizard of Oz.
I mean, quite literally, it is a fraternity. It is a wood stricken fraternity. And
Woodland critters.
exactly. So to me, I think what they did with the character, the CGI things, I mean, you still needed voice actors. I think it actually benefited because now when you go to Disneyland and you see Dopey, Sleepy, Grumpy, cocky, whatever.
Sniffy.
He's got like a leather jacket, like
he looks like the Fonz.
yeah, exactly. What does he look like? Maybe he's more Farquaad looking. But I only say that because, like, now you'll go, these characters that I saw in the film look a lot more like what I see at Disney World. When you go to the amusement park and you go on the ride, or you see the character and your little kid gets its autographed by a 7-foot tall dwarf. Like, or, you know, I think they're like 5'4". They get little young college girls to do it and pretend to be a dwarf. Okay, you'll go, it looks just like the movie. I think it was an upgrade. Like, I probably shouldn't say this, but you'd be like, that it freaks me out. Otherwise, like, no, it's not. It's different. It's not the same. I don't know.
Hey,
They should have. They should have did it more.
In the movie,
Wait, Ricky, what's that?
They should have just did it more like Looney Tunes. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
Yes,
it would have came off way better instead of making so much more realistic stuff and like just couple animate CGI stuff. They should just literally went cartoon. The princess can be real. You know what I mean? The queen can be real. Everything else is fake. Make up the animals for goddamn.
Yeah, they make them instead of Snow White and Bugs and Daffy and Tweety.
That would work. It would have worked.
Did you see the last scene of the movie though?
No.
Now this is where it gets weird.
Oh, lovely.
They're all in white. Every character that you saw in the whole movie is dressed head to toe in white stuff, just dancing. And people online are saying it's a Diddy party.
Disney, why did you do that? You walked right into it.
No, seriously, everybody. I saw
you could have colored that whole thing like a coloring book. That would have cost you what? Another, you're 500 million deep. What's another 2?
If they're all in white and you saw, out of context, I have no context of the scene other than they probably, you know, got rid of Gal Gadot at the end somehow. And they're all that song, that whistle you just did made me lose it. I lost my train of thought. It's a Diddy party.
Get the baby oil.
No, seriously, it's like what's that famous Hollywood party? They're all white. They're all dressed in white. That's like a real thing.
Yeah, it's like a whiteout party.
Yeah, that's the end of the movie. That's the end of this Snow White Disney movie. No subliminal message there.
Wow. Yeah, they just keep walking into it. They just keep. Okay, so closing it out, my wrapping thought is this is a marketing failure more than anything else. For the people that have seen the movie, they've all criticized it, said it's a terrible watch. That's going to drive people even further away from the theater that weren't going to begin with. But I think overall, we can't know what the product's really like because not enough people are going to overall see it. Nobody in this dialogue is going to see it, and I'm sure not many people in our orbit's going to. So it's one of those, we're never going to really know. And so the greater point is that this is just a marketing failure more than anything else. $500 million into a project. If you're going to do it, you got to do that perfectly then. You are Disney, and you could sell polished turds, and people are still going to buy them, but you need to buy them enough to, like Doug said, they're not getting into this even considering breaking even. The name Disney does not settle for even. We go for double is a bad roll, and they're not going to come anywhere near that. So hopefully they take a moment to sit back and one, reevaluate where they may have stumbled and could have done better in the marketing scheme. But I'm talking to Disney. I'm talking to all these companies. Folks, it's time to wake up and recognize, meet the market where it's at, because what you had for a while was a donut hanging from a string on a stick out in front of us, and the market was just chasing us. And we don't want donuts anymore. So what you could do is switch it out for an avocado toast, and we're going to keep chasing it then. But the market has changed palates, and if you don't meet it where it's at, I'm literally no longer chasing the donut, and I'm just going to walk to Panera. That's just where that's just how that happened. So meet the markets where it's at, and you've lost your gravitational pull. What's your wrapping thought?
I'm with you. I think it was a marketing failure, and I think at the end of that stick, you should not put Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler because I don't think either could really act. I think it's and again, marketing failure. this is supposed to be a children's movie.
Yeah.
I felt like the whole time I was hearing about this was not even close to being a children's movie. And that probably is where they went wrong.
Perfectly said. Doug, wrapping thought.
Yeah, I think all around they really screwed this up. It was years in the making. They blew more money than they needed to. And then you got an actress that keeps shooting herself in the foot every time she opens her mouth. Like we even talked about, there's a better way to say it. Disney probably trained her on what to say. That was a great point you brought up too. She kind of she tanked this movie, like a majority her. Other stuff going on, majority her.
She is insufferable. All right. Getting to our next topic here, we're going to be talking about maybe it's a new character in your orbit or someone you may be familiar with. But Jasmine Crockett, a story about how Democrats create Republican voters. So let's get into a couple. You know what? First, let me just get into her sales ad. That's probably the best one. If you don't know who Jasmine Crockett is, then this is an introduction. This is her campaign ad to bring you in. Otherwise, if you know who I'm talking about, it's just another Tuesday, and you know exactly what I'm about to show you.
Jasmine Crockett has the moves to fix America.
Y'all about to find out.
She is definitely on the side of the American people.
I'm rooting for Canada. I'm rooting for Mexico a lot. Black folk not have to pay taxes. I don't know if that's not necessarily a bad idea. Somebody slap me and wake me the f up.
We all know Jasmine Crockett is a fighter.
Chairman, if I come and talk shit about her, y'all gonna have a problem.
Off.
We are gonna be on your ass.
Her consistency is unmatched.
Now looks like a little bit over a year ago. And boo, let me just be real. And we ain't gonna sit for that.
Jasmine is always bringing the facts.
Let me make sure y'all got the facts. Most extreme crimes that take place are committed by white supremacists.
It is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally.
There has been no oppression for the white man in this country.
Stop being Putin's hoe.
We're gonna make sure you understand what democracy looks like.
Jasmine Crockett, the leader we probably don't need.
Get it, Jazz?
Get it, Jazz? This lady
That ain't real. That's real. That's real.
That is for real, Ricky.
That's for real.
That is all for real.
Like she got great sound bites. Like I already knew of her. She got great sound bites.
Very clear. That is a joke.
Okay. I know we be on it. Like, okay. I'm just saying because she would put something out like that.
That's what I was gonna. That's what's made this so funny.
So,
she's
only
like that lost in orbit.
The get it girl part. That's what. All right. The ending. I was like, okay, this ain't real. Like
this is
get it, Jazz.
But she got some fire ass sound bites, man. Built body, bleach, blonde. Like she be getting some shit off.
I'll agree. I like, in the realm of political WWE, I like some good zingers, and I like people that are out there to spar. But beyond the big body, bootied blonde or whatever she said, there's also sound bites that are, Ricky, quite literally insane.
March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes. Listen, I have learned as I serve on the Doge Oversight Committee that there is only one language that the people that are in charge understand right now. And that language is money. And so I've been so proud to see us organize behind a cause because
okay, so she wants to see Elon Musk taken down. How about what she's got to say about Ted Cruz?
I think that you punch. I think you punch. I think you're okay with you okay with punching. I think and I love Colin, and I think towards the end he started to punch a little harder. But it's Ted Cruz. I mean, this dude has to be knocked over the head hard, right? There is no niceties with him. At all. You go clean off on him, right?
Put him on a list. Put him on a list.
Proud supporter right there. William Hubert.
Put him on a list.
That's me.
Brother. Okay.
Does she? Before again, the sound bites, the WWE. In today's political age, like they're funny, they're fun, kind of can make jokes with. What are her actual like positions? Does she have like?
She's in Congress.
No, I get that, but like, what are her positions?
Oh, starch, like as far left as you could go.
Okay, I was like, is she?
I think she's part of the squad.
Okay,
Squad,
I wasn't sure.
Squad.
I was like, sure, you could say your sound bites, whatever, like kind of get like notice that way. But it's like then like behind the scenes, like it's much calmer speak, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, this is kind of where I stand on this.
Well, that got to such an antagonistic point that she was called to by Pam Bondi, the Attorney General.
Yeah, the AG.
For she's like, you better watch yourself. You keep walking that line, you're gonna get yourself in trouble.
Words have consequences. And what happened after she said that about Elon Musk? She's a Texan in her own home state. After she said that, this morning, 3 explosive devices were found in Austin, Texas. So she needs to unequivocally denounce the violence. She must apologize immediately, not only to all Texans, but to our country, to the American shareholders of Tesla, because she is promoting violence. And then you showed the clip of what she said about Senator Cruz. I believe she probably will be censured by Congress for saying that. People don't learn. She's using her public persona, her public platform to increase her followers, to increase her significance, and she is threatening lives, safety.
Seriously.
When she did this at Tesla, Sean, people's lives are in danger. This is America. We're in a free country, and she's yet encouraging this violence in our country. Think of all the lives that could have been jeopardized in Texas just today by her words and what she's done. But she didn't stop with that. She continued on with Senator Cruz. She has to apologize immediately and denounce the violence.
And girl, you think she's gonna take that from a blonde?
Just in case the slow people listening decide to click this up later, I just want to say that I have never promoted violence whatsoever, yet I've also never made excuse for those violent actors such as the ones on January 6th. So Pam Bondi, if you have an issue with terrorism, maybe you should talk to your boss about locking back up those guys that he let out that participated in January 6th.
Okay.
You want to go there? Well, let's talk about Biden's pardons then, crazy lady. Look back at our previous episode, people.
Doug's dunking from the back.
Doug felt attacked.
So, who are we talking about? What does she do? What is her policy?
Yeah, like what are her actual like positions on things? Like,
her positions are: I make on paper $200,000 a year, but my policies are: how do I get this bag before I get out of here?
Each vehicle in her garage tells a story of elegance and sophistication while delivering the kind of driving experience that turns heads wherever she goes. At the heart of her collection is the 2020 Lincoln Continental, a car that embodies timeless luxury with a modern edge. Designed for those who value comfort as much as style, it features plush leather seating, a premium sound system, and an intuitive infotainment interface that makes every ride feel effortless. Whether she's navigating city streets or embarking on a long-distance journey, the Lincoln Continental delivers smooth performance wrapped in a stately design. With a price tag of around $50,000, it offers the perfect balance of opulence and value.
I would have given her way more kudos if she was driving around in like a busted Civic.
Oh, no way.
I would have been like, you know what? Let her talk her talk, man. She doesn't care.
We are in DC. We are here to get the bag.
Yeah.
Secure the bag. Oh, wait. No. Stop.
Sorry.
We're not even halfway.
No, I'm sorry. You're right. I'm ahead of myself.
Well, you need to indulge in her glory.
I was waiting for the Civic to show up next. No, like, she's fine. She's valid.
This is what I drive for the plebes to see. Oh, no. That's below her.
How long has she been in Congress?
I don't know. We'll look that up.
Well, it says 2020, so I mean, she may have recently bought that, but
yeah, I'd say at least a term.
Drive infused with cutting-edge technology, Jasmine steps into her 2025 Mercedes-Benz GT Class, a machine built for those who crave performance without compromise. Inside, the cabin is a futuristic masterpiece, boasting a fully digital cockpit, hand-stitched leather upholstery, and an array of high-tech
iPad in
safety
that
features
thing.
that ensure confidence on the road. Its sleek and
Look at that.
aggressive design perfectly matches the powerhouse under
I
the
don't even
hood,
know if I want
making
all
it a
that.
true statement of
Yeah,
speed
I would.
and luxury. Expected to cost around $100,000.
Mercedes-Benz.
You gotta you gotta massage the door
Hey, look
handle
at the
out.
rims on that thing,
Ugh.
man.
This car is the pinnacle of
Looks like
high-end driving
Durgat's old
excitement.
rims.
Completing her collection is the Audi Q3, a
Just keep adding
compact
up.
luxury SUV that seamlessly blends practicality with sophistication.
I don't
With
know
a
if that's
spacious,
practical.
tech-savvy interior,
Eh.
a large touchscreen infotainment
What do you know
system,
about practical?
and advanced safety features.
I think a Chevy
The
Equinox is
Q3
quite
the
practical.
ideal companion for both city commutes and
Oh,
weekend
wow,
getaways.
Crosstrek.
At
man, what are you
approximately
talking about?
$45,000, it proves that premium quality doesn't have to come with an exorbitant price tag. Jasmine's selection of cars isn't just about driving. It's about making an impression. Whether she's gliding through the city in her Lincoln, commanding attention in her Mercedes, or embracing versatility with her Audi, every ride reflects her signature mix of elegance, power, and modern luxury.
The Mercedes interior is
So she's modest, she's humble,
And she
she's
buys
wanna
foreign.
use-
And she
that's
buys
just-
foreign cars.
and yeah, she buys foreign cars.
That was pretty good, man. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, only Doug would pick up on that. That's why we got you. Doug. We need you.
Dude,
We've been missing. We've been an unbalanced scale without you.
I know.
Honestly, for a
I
troll,
know.
honestly, for a good troll for her though, she should get like a Cybertruck.
Oh,
Just be like, I don't condone violence. I got a Cybertruck. That would be funny.
my friend, can I be clear to you? I just want you to know that is not the worst clip. The reason this is the topic today is because, you know, she's not a pivotal character in my political sphere. I don't really see much of her, but she makes trending headlines today with a viral clip that is probably going to be the one that gets her in trouble.
Is it the wheelchair one?
How'd you know?
I literally saw it like an hour before I came here. I didn't see the clip. I just saw like.
Thank you so much, Morgan, because we in these hot ass Texas streets, honey.
Hot ass. My dad would love that.
Yeah.
Say what you will about Trump. Never said that. We in these hot ass. You know what? I did it a disservice. Let's start it over. I want you to. I don't think you caught the hot ass.
Thank you so much, Morgan, because we in these hot ass Texas streets, honey.
Girl.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot
Say
about him is
what?
that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So yes.
In a different context, that
Right.
could be like a
Okay.
sitcom
All right.
thing.
I'm gonna move on because
That he's
thank
a
you so
hot-ass
much,
mess?
Morgan.
No, not that. Like the Hot Wheels. Like in a different context, that'd be.
But
No.
she goes, he ain't hot.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah,
He's a hot mess.
yeah.
That's funny. That's fucking funny. Okay, stop
Yeah,
playing.
it is. It's kind
Governor Hot Wheels, stop playing, man. You know, we got Brandon. People can get name called now. Come on. Governor Hot Wheels is Hot Wheels. We had Brandon. We had all types of names. You know what I mean? Crooked Hillary.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
ain't
'Cause, like the other thing
No.
that you praised her for, like, again, the last person that acknowledged the hair of the other culture, they lost their job, but she gets to bombastically attack and like again, we either need to be consistent. I'm not going to say the senator, like, here's my why in the road. Senator or congressman that said he to that transgender representative or senator, I don't care to know, whichever it was, I should know, I'm sorry. But you remember that debacle like a week or two ago,
Right,
where he
right,
said
right.
he, and
Yes.
then like that person was the female transgender person referred back to him as she to be like snarky and just moved on. but then someone else caught wind of it and like blew up. And it's like, I'm not moving forward until you apologize. He's like, well, adjourned. We're done. And there's like a thing of decorum. I want to have like the freedom of this world, right? So where I stand on the trans thing is like pushing the doctrine on children, which is really the whole game. That's their obsession. Right. They need that for whatever reason. They won't admit it, but that's what they need because they can't brainwash their own kids. They can't have it themselves. Biology is an inconvenience, but you live in this world where I want to live in a free world. I want to live in a world where you don't get to tell me how to live as a free adult. So I remember as a kid of the 90s, you'd turn on the boob tube and you'd see some guy doing tattoos and like bump piercings to look like a lizard.
Yeah.
And I don't want to live in a country that doesn't let that guy have the freedom to get lost in his body dysmorphia. Like, I'd like to also have available mental health resources to maybe try to offer him help, but that's their choice. That's called freedom. That's being a free adult. So where the, salt water and the fresh water, that little marsh, where that meets for me is I'm willing to let free people be free. I just don't like the indoctrination of children. So here is a representative that carries themselves out as a female. I personally interpret that as body dysmorphia. I'd like to help them. I feel as though indulging in the delusion doesn't help them. But I'm not the majority in the science. And a majority of people chose to have this person represent them in a fashion that they outwardly carry themselves out as a female. That being the case, I would say it should be illegal, a problem, disciplinary action, reprimanding qualified for an elected official who's elected as a female to be called a male. Period. This is an adult.
Oh, I get it.
And I think we can have a real conversation about, statutes for schools and everything else, but you got to respect the person. So if we're going to live in a world where that's the expectation, like, here's the problem. Too many cultures and communities live in the world of severe degeneracy to such a point that we ourselves have allowed the highest tier to degenerate. Like, okay, there's a thing called decorum. There's a thing called expectations when in session. And those things are, they seem like posh, unnecessary charades. But many of them do serve a purpose. And a lot of it is just a traditional show. Why don't you peacock? Once you lose that, what do you have? Like, once you lose the tribal ceremony, what do you have? So we've degraded that. Again, the language we heard, hot ass Texas, that would never have come out of, that will not come out of Barack Obama's mouth.
Yeah.
So when you look at a distinguished dignitary that represents people, and you on one side of your tongue will go, you're an asshole if you don't admit he's not the greatest president of all time. Why? Most unmanned drone killings, did the most division in our country of all time. You must acknowledge him as the best president ever because he spoke the best and represented us the best. Okay. So then we also got to agree, ipso facto, I'm following the train of logic. It's a logical equation. If that then is the reason he's the best president, then therefore you are conceding that's the standard. That's what you should be wanting for, calling for. Guess what? You'll never get to say that's how Donald Trump talks, period.
Exactly.
Dude improvs, dude throws it from the hip, but he isn't drinking alcohol. He isn't you cannot find a blemish on his record. You love hating him because he skipped out on the draft. You signing up, asshole? You're not. You would do the same damn thing because you're also the same hippie flower lover that's going, I'm not fighting the man's fight. So this isn't a crime. If the only blemish you could find, not perfect children, not smoking a joint at Coachella, think about that. They're grown-ass adults with also perfect grandchildren. But we're getting lost in all the Bushes, the Clintons, the Obamas, and what all their kids have done. And you can't find one of them with this family. That's something. I'm sorry, take it away. But I'm bringing it full circle. You've got someone, you just saw it, that's a funny bar. Brother, this is not a rap.
Yeah.
Like, this is the global arena, and this is, the reason we are where we're at is because we have not acknowledged the stakes that this truly holds. The only person that interviewed your president that never left the basement was Cardi B. That's the ceiling to your politics. And then we're like, but the community is not getting saved. It ain't getting out of the hole it's in. It's because you're here's what the Democrat Party does to you. This is the truth. So Jasmine Crockett, she comes into the profession one way, and then to pander and to truly get through to your voter base, she had to become something totally else. Something totally different.
No one could have told me that when I went down to Austin.
Let's start this over.
No one could have told me that when I went down to Austin, now looks like a little bit over a year ago, that I would be running for Congress. It's just not what my plan was. But what I've always decided is that I would step up when there was a need.
Because we in these hot ass Texas streets, honey.
So again, it's one way of starting your career, and then it's becoming another thing because that's what keeps the lights on. And so I think it's more of a reflection of the voter base than the person they voted for.
That's exactly what I was about to say, bro. She was elected by probably that base, bro. She is that. She seems like that's how she always been to me. Like, and her base don't mind. Not saying it's right, but her base don't mind. If you ain't part of her base, you just go the other way. Like, you know what I'm saying? But the Hot Wheels shit's still funny, dog.
I agree. But dude, that's for us to say, right? Like,
No, you can't say that, Alec. That's not fair because Trump has said a lot of funny shit, and I admit they're fucking funny, bro. They're funny. If it's funny, it's funny. A joke is a joke. It's not because they're on the right or left, but this shit's funny. But her attitude and how she carries herself, like during interviews and stuff, I find it kind of city girlish. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not even like what I would want for my representative or my daughter wants to be a representative. You know what I mean? I get that. But on that specific thing, just a name call right there.
My mind a little bit.
Well, dude,
on that specific thing right there about Hot Wheels is hilarious. Dude, calling for Elon head, I don't agree on Elon. Calling her calling on Elon and Tesla. Like, there's no need for a congressperson to be colluding for a private company. You know what I mean? Like, swaying the stocks, that shit not, or calling people to arms. Come on, Hot Wheels, look, bro, come on now. And that's the nigga he was talking about, bro. Come on, he going places. He been places
fast. So, Doug, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, like, Democrats love ripping on Trump for things he says on Twitter, or like how he sometimes has those no filter moments and everything. And dude, she's like acting like Trump. Like, why is no one like going, she shouldn't be an elected official because of things she says, and she's just saying these things to get more Twitter followers and more followers in general. It's like same shit people were saying about Trump. Why isn't anyone saying this about her?
That's what Alex is saying.
That's why I gotta hand it to Ricky. Ricky, truthfully, you changed my mind in a positive way, which is, if I kind of reflect on some of the things that I love about Trump, it is many of those taglines, and a good fraction of them come in inappropriate times and places. So with conceding that point, really you nailed it. And okay, what I wanted to say is Trump he said Pocahontas like literally in a presidential address.
But
Bro,
like,
come on now.
I
That's
gotta-
just
and what did we do? I can't sit here and pretend 3 episodes ago we were going like, who did like, dude, we were revering it. So like, I can't be lost in a cult where, okay, when you see your team get a dunk, it's fun because we're saying it. When we're all shooting the shit, that's what we're saying. And then we just saw the rep, the guy, the lady, the man said it, and it's awesome. But the other side of the coin is, I wanted to make the point, maybe it feels different because it's in like when they're in official capacities. Like I didn't like the blonde, the bing bong boom blonde one because I agree, and most of the internet did. Most of the internet loved it.
because she didn't start that. She ain't start that. If you watch the full like 5-minute thing, she ain't started. But she
Like,
finished it though.
Pocahontas thing.
But I want to say the
But time and
name
place.
calling didn't
Yeah.
start with her. And that's the problem, is the Democrats will get lost in like the fact that I'm white or that I'm blonde, and not like, I think they were talking about trans or like something was inflammatory, and we got lost in the topic itself. And we didn't, and then it evolved into name calling and stuff. So it's like, my criticism is the good tagline in an official productive capacity where it derails it. It's frustrating. The same time when it happens from like my side, I love it. So I can't. But as I got it, maybe that's something I got to work on. And I shouldn't say that. I don't love it, but I do like Ricky said, sit back, laugh, and go, ha, nice, good one.
It's fun to sit back and laugh because yeah, she has one-line zingers. Here's the problem with the way the Democrats go about it, and it hasn't happened to her yet, but I think it's going to be an issue that she falls into. People aren't agreeing with what you're saying, though. The average person is. What's the difference between Trump when Trump makes his zingers? He's speaking more for how we are. Her having that point of like, what's the problem with them coming through this country illegally? You just said it. You literally just said it. That's your zinger. That's your one zinger. Her going to bing boom bong plastic blonde. Like, I don't care. Like, because at the end of the day, it's like, I don't agree with you still. Just because you have the zinger. The funny part about Trump with his zinger, him looking at Pocahontas, you said you were Native American. You're whiter than me. Pocahontas? Okay, I'll call you that because you're self-proclaimed that. Trump's better at it because it works. Hers is like,
and it resonates.
It works and it resonates. The Democrats don't resonate with the normal person. I don't see how even if they're funny, and I would agree with Ricky, what she's saying is funny. Like we were laughing throughout that entire intro video of her. I didn't agree with the word she said. It's still funny though. But just because it's funny doesn't mean I'm going to start agreeing with you. Trump, it works because it's funny and I agree. I'm like, yes, he's saying it to the snooty, snotty Barack Obama kind of individuals, and not just Obama, the Bushes, the Clintons, all of them. And it's funny and I agree. The Democrats, it doesn't. Like, her points are not hitting, like, at all. And it's going to catch up to her. That's why when I sat back, I was like, all right, but what are her actual policy positions? And you're like, oh, she's just hard there. It's like, her head of steam is going to run out. So for her, it's like, get the bag as quick as you can. I've seen the cars. Maybe slow up on the spending a bit because I don't know how much longer this is going to last. Like, this isn't going to work out for you. They're already campaigning, AOC and having Bernie Sanders walk around the country with her. And it's like, this is where...
Dude, do you think that's going to be the ticket?
Yes. They're already trying to preset it for 4 years from now. They want their base to buy into it, thinking that AOC will beat the JD Vance and the Tulsi Gabbard ticket or whatever it's going to be in 4 years. While for 4 years, we fix the problems that they created. So all they have is the one-line zingers. The problem is
super socialist with that ticket.
The one-line zingers run out when they don't resonate with people. Then I'm just looking to be like, you're just talking out your ass. Right. Like, pardon the language, but like that's what it's going to come out.
Dude, you aren't speaking to the country. You're just in the podcast.
I know, but
You're okay.
I don't want to get us in trouble, like with the curse words and stuff like that. But it's like, that's my issue I see with her. So sure, it could be funny, but at some point the humor is going to run out when it's not resonating with people.
No,
you're just
when I can't buy groceries.
Right. You're just saying stuff to just say stuff and be like the commenting on the guy in the wheelchair. I don't care about Greg Abbott. People really don't care about Greg Abbott. You know, the funny part is, Warren, why was it funny with Pocahontas? You've tried to run for president for over a decade now. You've tried and tried and tried and tried. The only thing you clapped at was the Ukraine bit. You want to keep going, Pocahontas? We keep giving them money. That's why it's funny, because the American people don't want to keep doing that. So again, Jasmine could have all these one-liners and they are funny, and we'll concede it, and I'll laugh at them when you put them on. I want us to do weekly roundups of her too. Like, keep adding them in. They're funny. But then I want the discussion to be like, do we agree with what she said? And we're going to be like, no, it's still funny, but no, it makes no sense, her position. That's why it doesn't work. And that's, like Ricky said, that's been the Democrats' biggest issue, is they do not resonate with the average individual.
And then they double down.
And then that's going to be her issue. She's going to make these comments. She's going to double, triple, quadruple down all the way, because she has to. She doesn't have, look at Gavin Newsom. He made one comment out of line in a 2-hour podcast where he completely didn't agree with
Just show a little bit of realism.
Just a little bit of realism. They got him. They got him. And it's going to happen to her. It's going to happen. And it's not just her. There are going to be others. Her doing the Trump play, I don't blame her. It worked for us. It's still working for us. You have J.D. Vance get zingers in every once in a while. But it resonates with us. That's why it works. Okay? That's big issue. But I don't have an issue with her saying these things. She's allowed to. But if it's not resonating, it's not resonating, though.
Yeah, Ricky, do me a favor. Give me your rapping thoughts. Close this baby out.
Those were my rapping.
Keep the singers going, but get Democrats, all Democrats, like, pretty much need to get better on the policy, as everybody been saying. Like, just find something better to run on, like, for the people, man. Like, just speak to the people more. The singers are going to be there, but just speak to the people, because the platform they're running on right now have been running on. It hasn't been working. The messaging has been the same. It's been pretty much the same characters since COVID. It's been the same characters. So it's like, we're tired of them. Like, they lost seats. They haven't gained. So call me crazy. Keep doing the same thing over and over. You're crazy, right? Like, no switch. Yeah, exactly. Like, they do better.
So, Ricky, you've as you've kind of walked that out, you've really made me reflect on a bigger point, which is we're sitting here calling for the representative to change its trajectory to align more with our will. And but what's crazy is that we don't have Doug's lost in space. He missed it.
It's all right, Doug.
It's all right, Doug.
You got me next time.
Got him next time. So back to what's funny is with this they've got themselves trapped in a corner, because this is what works insofar as that's how they continue to get donors. If this is what the corporate mechanism wants, or even grander, the Democrat Party demands its agenda, the way it sells itself to the public, if this is the Kool-Aid they're selling, if you want to have the backing of the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett's got to put a little bit more twang in that baby. You can't be speaking so clean like you came from a Ivy League school. You got to talk like you came from these streets, as Kamala would say, and you got to put on the mask. And the problem is these people, like as Ricky's point was, and even yours, Will, is we want them to be more like X, Y, closer to my beliefs, what we want to see representing us. But as long as the person that got me elected and keeps paying the bills doesn't want me doing that, I'm never going to become that. And so I think the greater point for me walking away from this whole dialogue is we need to demand more and better from our system.
Yes.
So we have this system that, a whole bunch of Freemasons or Satan worshipers or who knows from way back when wrote a constitution and this brilliant government, and they built a skeleton, and we've put the meat on the bones, and man, it's an ugly looking monster, and we kind of probably need to shave a lot of that meat off and rebuild some of it. But the core is there, and the thing that they gave us, the foundation to what we've built upon, is they've given us an ability to where if we build a big enough platform and we're able to talk to each other in a grand enough scale, and we all agree that the Democrat Party can hand me this thing 10 times over, and I'm never going to vote for it. The Republican Party can hand me eye patch. What's it? Evil Morty. They can hand me Evil
Crawford.
Morty Crenshaw. 10 times over. I'm never gonna vote. There's never a time that guy's gonna support my belief.
And that's the thing with Trump. Like Trump's
and that's why it resonates. It resonates with the masses. So you either evolve, like either a politician steps forward and gets enough of attention, and their platform is what resonates with the people, or, and that's why they do a great job of making sure we don't get this ability. We don't get the opportunity to connect with you, the listener. Thank you for listening to us live, jumping in the comments, adding that extra edge to the dialogue, because this is what they're up against. This is what they're at war against, because that's the only reason you look at this thing they gave us, Jasmine Crockett, and what it's evolved into, and you still consider voting for it because it's all you got. Yeah. And what you said, you really struck fear into me. Future fear. I mean, we'll probably be in World War III before then, but like, man, the next election with an AOC and Bernie Sanders, that's a tough ticket to beat.
I don't think it is, because I think the longer this is going on, though, and again, it comes down.
Well, it depends on what happens in the next 3 years, and
it's just the resonating. It's the resonating with the individuals. It's like you mentioned, like her. She goes to these different cities and starts changing the way she speaks. What have I always said about Trump? Trump's Trump wherever he goes. Never changes. It's still him. You know, that's important to people. Like, if you're not from here, don't show up and talk like you've been here. Fair. I don't need you to do that.
I don't want no chameleon for president.
Exactly. But if you could come here, be another individual from somewhere else and understand our issues and speak to the people, that speaks louder than just you changing the way you talk. And it's not just her, and it's been plenty of others, but that's been a huge thing. So again, that's why it's wherever Trump goes, his brand, he doesn't need to change who he is. Just him.
A brilliant point.
Just him, you know. So, but I agree with your points.
No, so I love that, and just putting
for instance, like, you know, AOC is going to go to the East Coast and the West Coast and down south and completely change how she talks to these people.
Oh, she's going to be so more Latin.
And funny enough, Bernie Sanders is. Bernie's going to be the same. The millionaires and the billionaires, wherever he goes, he's not going to change how he talks.
He's going to let Satan, trans people sing about killing Christians at his
harder
rallies.
To resonate. Like, there's you were a Bernie supporter. You're no longer even close to being a Bernie supporter.
Because you know what's funny is even what Bernie was in 2015, the ruse he was selling everybody, he's even gone so much further left.
Right.
Like, I want to know what they have on Bernie. It's got to be severe for him to be a quiet millionaire and just be a pawn in this chess game. He was about to be crowned the king piece.
Right.
And he's like, okay, I'll accept going right back in the front lines. I'll be a pawn. I may die in the line.
That's the thing.
And now he's even worse. Like, his politics are more socialist and just delusional. I mean,
you're going to see a socialist ticket, and the younger generation is so far from being socialistic.
Boy, are they.
Like, look at this most recent election. You think in 4 years they're going to change the socialists in the next 4 years? I don't see that happening. And that's going to be their biggest issue. They have a complete identity crisis on their hand, and they know it. And that's why they're already trying to push it now.
So true.
You know,
so true.
Whereas on our side, we're not. I still have confidence with what's going on.
Well, and
it's only 2 months in, by the way. It's only 2 months in.
Let's have a talk about how, well, we're almost through March, dude. It's amazing how fast it's been going through.
He's still in his first 100 days.
Yeah, no, well, you're right.
You're right. That's what I'm saying.
True, true. And again, it's crazy how fractured this country is, that you have a fraction that lives in a echo chamber that this is tragedy on a daily basis. And quite literally the other half of the country feels we're getting slowly closer to better every day. Every day we're better.
Literally Tim Walz last week making fun of Tesla stock going down, and then it immediately has bounced back this week. That was your win.
He also said he wanted to fight Trump supporters.
The
MAGA.
loser vice president, who was one of the big reasons they lost.
Did you see someone bring that up to Joe Rogan?
Yes. Yeah. He's just like, yeah, he's a loser.
No, that Tim Walz wants to fight. He said he could fight any MAGA person. And they're like, you voted for Trump. The UFC yoked gorilla. They're like, he said he could fight any MAGA guy. And just Joe Rogan's like,
but that's what I mean. It's like the Democrats are so out of touch. It's almost scary how out of touch they are.
Dude, you think we're going to let a guy who dressed up like a cowboy in assless chaps come close to that White House?
No, and that's why you're already starting to see videos of AOC kind of doing like rallies because they're in freak out mode now. Which is
crazy because I got to tell you, you think you learned from the last 3
Here's the
times? You should be going for Gavin Newsom over AOC, but he said transports.
Let me just pose this. 4 years, say it is Vance Gabbard ticket. That's what I think it's going to be. Vance Gabbard ticket. And then you have the AOC and whoever her running mate is.
You serious?
Alex, I'm just looking at what's happening right now. It may not be that in 4 years, but I'm looking at it right now.
I always thought Vance for sure, but I didn't even.
I don't know. My big complaint with
let me the point. This is all hypothetical. Again, this is.
I got lost in getting excited about
this.
Tulsi,
Is March
sorry.
25th, 2025. We still have within his first 100 days. This is just from what I've seen online in the first 100 days. AOC Sanders ticket, Vance Gabbard ticket. You're going to have Gabbard debate Bernie after 4 years, and you're going to have Vance debate AOC after 4 years. Again, the normal American, the average American. I'm not talking your far lefters, your far righters. I'm talking the everyday person that swayed this election, and they're going to sit back and listen to him talk. People didn't care about Vance a year ago. Now it's like, yeah, he already has a vote for me.
Oh, he would crush her in a
That's
day.
what I'm saying. And we're 4 years, but that's how out of touch and bad it is for the Democrats. That we're 4 years from that point, and I'm already seeing it's like, I've never seen her in stadiums talking before, and now I'm seeing her in stadiums talking where they're always like filming, like, look at her, look at how excited everybody is. Oh, I don't care. I know what she's going to say in 4 years. We all know what she's going to say in 4 years. It's what was just said most recently. Tax the rich. She's got as many cars as Jasmine Crockett, and we want the trans kids. We want the trans men in the sports and all that thing. And we're all going to sit back and be like, did you learn nothing? Did you learn nothing? The average American. I'm just saying, like, it's weird. And it's like you said, there's this division, but it's like a lot of people are saying, I'm concerned for the Democrats, and I'm not even on their side. I'm like, this is your identity. You're quadrupling down now. It's only going further down. I don't see it getting. We're just sitting around. We're literally kicking back and watching things happen. You know, they had the whole Hegseth like text thing happen, and it's like, why does this feel hoaxy to me? The Atlantic, the famous newspaper that hates their side, somehow got this text so conveniently. Something's off there. Something's weird there. I don't buy it. I'm not buying into it. But it's again, they got to find every little thing, every little chink to throw at Orange Man Bad to make it stick, and it still hasn't stuck. And he's not even running again in 4 years. He's just going to anoint the next guy. He anointed our next governor. We're voting next year. And he's like, yeah, I already know who's winning. Don't even have to guess. Like, I don't see it getting better for them. And this whole Jasmine Crockett thing, you could say your one-liners. You could say it's all funny. 3 years of this, and people are going to sit back and be like, no. Their side's going to agree because their side agrees with whatever they say. Everyday American. What do you mean they can't come in here illegally? It's just that they just came in. You said the word. You said the word illegally. That's why. I don't know why that's the controversial word in the statement. You know, but they keep doing it, and they're not going to fix because the Gavin Newsom interview spoke volumes to me. It's especially to you, but volumes. He said one thing out of line in 2 hours. And most of the stuff he said I didn't disagree with, but I could, respect him for having the conversation, speaking to his points. But he conceded on that one point, and they turned on him immediately. And he was who I thought was going to run 4 years.
He probably was.
And if I was him, I'd be like, keep in mind what just happened. Come to this side. We'll have you. Our entire party.
Ask Tulsi. Ask Tulsi. She's in the cabinet.
Not just him.
She was a Democrat. She's in the cabinet.
Her. RFK
Jr.
RFK. Rogan. Trump. He was one of you at some point. Now running the country. Come on over, Gavin. We'll have a talk. You think Trump agrees with everything RFK says? No, but I'll listen to you talk.
Say the sports thing again. Say it again. You can say.
What the?
Looking at Gavin.
Oh, the Gavin.
Say the sports thing again.
What sports thing?
trans thing.
Oh yeah, say what I want.
And you can stay. And he's just like, I don't think it's right. Oh my God. Do you feel liberated?
Yes. And you will feel less under pressure if you come to our side.
Because all you can be is honest.
And I
just be honest.
I will look at people and be like, I don't agree with him. Probably on most stuff.
You know what's laughable?
But I can respect him for talking
Think
about it.
about how many powerful people in our orbit are obsessed with the abortion issue on the Democrat side.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, what you're missing is the Republican side is not what it used to be even 15 years ago. Definitively pro-abortion. I mean, ask Don. Don Lloyd comes in here. We debate all the time. That's the thing we debate. And he's a staunch Republican. I've voted for Trump 3 times in a row. You're sitting back going, we are it has become the party of honesty.
Yeah.
You have a sheer division within Republicans about abortion. How do I know that? Because look at Republican states. 12 of them have made abortions illegal. The rest, Trump won 48 of them. They all decided no ho 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 ho.
And it's like, we want the open dialogue. We want Trump leaving it up to the states' rights was genius. Let our voices be heard more. I don't want some overpowerful government demanding it's yes or no. He was a genius for that. Like, honestly, that is the smartest decision he made on it. Let the states decide.
That was the whole point of the Civil War, man. States' rights. That was the whole point.
I'm gonna flip it to you. Wrap it. Give me your whole kit and caboodle.
I really hope that like she doesn't get on any ticket in the future. Like this is all fine and dandy, like Will said, ha ha ha. But like, no, I don't want this for the next 3 years for her to like just to then. I don't want any more of this. I don't want any more. This was enough of this for me.
And again,
it's fatigue.
What is AOC other than no doesn't mean no, no means find another way? What did she say?
Say what? It's just fatigue. It'll be more years of fatigue from their side and more things of results on our side. And it's gonna be like, what do you want to vote for? No, that's
perfectly said. Perfectly said. You've put a great cherry on top. And so while I anticipated, I mean, look, we're only 2/3 of the way through. I anticipated these to be some pretty dense topics, especially with the hitting James O'Keefe piece. Things blew my mind. Doug, I'm so mad your mic was probably off for that. I need to just get my shit straight over here. Because Doug corroborated the fact that he was in our house
all the time. I recognized his face immediately. I'm like, how did I know this guy? But I'm like, he was always there. Always there.
So, that all being said, we got one last final topic. It's a fun one. It's a perfect way to send out the night. And so, we have here how a man uses a pretty creative method in keeping away a loitering bear problem that he encountered.
What is he wearing?
Oh, yeah. So first off, why are you in a bear suit that close to a black bear?
Because apparently black doesn't like brown.
All right, Doug. Turn his mic off. Look at Ricky.
Yo. Doug,
that was the last.
Welcome back.
What is a black bear and a brown bear? Apparently they don't like each other. That looks like a mountain man under that.
Dude, this is like a jackass skit.
Dude, Doug, my camera on me. Camera on me. you know that guy walked out of his house with his cup of coffee, was like,
it's time to put the suit on.
Put the suit on, walk back out with the cup of coffee. Look at you. Oh my God.
That man is way more braver than me because I ain't doing that.
That's what I'm saying. That's crazy to me, dude.
I've seen a video of individuals like if a bear apparently is running at you, one of the things you're supposed to do is kind of like
charge at it
and
get
scream.
big, get big.
Yeah.
But that's only certain types of bears apparently that you're supposed to do that. Like there are other bears that like if you try to go
dude, if a bear saw me do that at him, he'd look at me and be like, "Bitch, move." You would not be threatened by my.
So the story takes place in North Carolina. The man put on a bear costume to scare off this persistent, real-life black bear. In North Carolina, a man decided to take a more creative approach to tackling the persistent bear problem in his backyard by putting on a cartoony bear costume and somehow successfully scaring the unwelcomed angry bear. Angry bear is
Oh
just
my God.
laying there.
Oh my God. He walked outside. He wanted to recreate Brother Bear. He's like, I love that movie.
He's like, he broke my stop sign.
He broke my stop.
Why do you have a stop sign in the middle of your yard? I didn't steal it. I promise.
Why was the stop sign in the middle of your yard? For him. For kept coming.
Yeah.
Kept walking in. This son of a bitch.
For him. So the man emerges from the
man bear
inside.
pig.
So, it starts off with mockery, but with caution, just absolutely thrown into the wind. He kept inching forward, and I'm more flabbergasted by the fact that it worked. And apparently the bear never came back. So my question more than anything to you is, would you use this method? If I had the suit and I was like, Ricky, please, can you help me take care of this bear
because I
problem?
want to have
I'll
the
go out
suit.
there in the suit with a shotgun. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. I'd probably still have a
Dude,
gun.
that bear would have seen a bear with a shotgun and been like, that's new.
You know what I'm saying? With a shot
Never
and a
seen
bear
that bear
mace.
before.
And I gotta have a bear mace as well. I ain't going out there just be like, oh, I'm brave. Hoo. You have common sense. You're not just gonna attack me because you think you have a brain, bear. You think. Nah, bear, bro.
I think, therefore I am.
Look,
Bear
that,
saw him and he was like,
that's
twin.
a brave man, bro. Probably was a special
yeah.
SEAL Team 6, ex-SEAL Team 6 or something.
I just laugh. You couldn't catch me dead doing this.
No.
No.
You could catch me dead in the bear suit after it
I
mauled
wouldn't
me.
even. None of us are going outside. Like, I'm inside looking through the window.
Dude, I'd call someone to come fix it.
Yeah, does
calling your dad?
You come get this bear.
Does animal control deal with bears?
No, they just sit on their ass all day.
Mr. Hubert, what do I do? I got a black bear in the front of
You
your
gotta call
Like Santa
wildlife for
Claus,
that.
man.
You gotta call a wildlife.
pellet gun. That'll help.
Put a
Piss
like
it
a
off. That'll just piss it
mosquito on
off.
it. Ah, damn it. The son of a bitch. He shot me. Dude, he walked out. And that
I love
bear-
it. Yeah, and the bear's just like,
He walked out
He
and
doesn't
the-
go far.
I wish that bear looked at him. He was like, "What's up, twin?
Twinning.
What's up, twin?"
All right, so we had a fun episode, a lot packed into one. We appreciate everybody that joined us for the live show because the whole point of the live show is to get you involved. So we appreciate everybody that jumped into the comments. I'm going to be flipping it here to Ricky. Ricky from Just Another Day TV. Tell the folks where to find you, what you got cooking for them.
Just Another Day TV. One more video coming out this week, clips as usual, and we're gonna be outside in the video.
That's right.
And we outside.
Well, again, guys, thank you for joining us. If we made you laugh, if we made you think, the best thing you could do to support this show is like this episode. If you liked it, then someone else will too. And the best thing you could do to support the show is take that link and spread it around, share it, post it where you can, whatever you can do. That's how you can give back to us. We'd really appreciate it. So please retweet, share, whatever it takes. But we go live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. We also have the reactions channel. Most of the time when all the microphones work, those shows stay up. Thanks, Doug. We need you home. But the reactions channel is back in full force this weekend, so I'll be looking forward to that. We've got that. And so here's where I'm at. I don't know if you knew the science. Let me sell you on a new episode. You can check it on our channel right now. Just so you know.
It was good.
Oh, I appreciate that. Just so you know. You guys got lucky. I was going to have us eating Skyline chili ice cream for today's episode.
I don't even like actual Skyline
I'm
chili.
gonna tell you, it's surprisingly good.
Ew.
You'd be flabbergasted.
No, I hate the
even
regular
with oyster
Skyline.
crackers in it. But you got to check out the episode. It's not very long. I think it's like just 11, 12 minutes. So check it out. Well, Ohio, the center of the universe. But guys, if you're looking for all these different shows, all these different programs, you can find it in one central place. And that's at our website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. But otherwise, guys, we appreciate you joining us, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.